Hey guys, Vermont's weather is, I have no idea, I forgot to check the temp before, which always kind of makes me laugh. Like, you'd think I'd be able to take a guess, but the other day it was 23. I would have swore it was 13. It's actually really not that bad out right now. I just have the unfortunate that I didn't get to chores until later because I was Christmas shopping. That's right, I live shopping on Christmas Eve. Not my finest decision. Hey guys, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas Eve. Does anybody's festives begin now? I actually just played bounce back and forth returning to my sister's. I wish that I could be like most of my family and spend the night up there, but as you guys know, I will have to come here home in order to go through chores for the horses. They have no idea that the big man's coming. Santa, I actually do not feed treats. I know that might sound like really like cruel and bizarre to hear coming from a girl, but I actually do not feed treats to my horses. The reason is horses have pretty sensitive stomachs to a diet, and treats tend to be filled with sugar. It's not uncommon for horses to get they get diseases that are caused almost like diabetes. It's the same thing from insulin levels being off. It's either founder, CPL, laminitis. There are different diseases. I don't know why. I don't know really what the definition is, but I don't like to suddenly screw with their diet and put like a boatload of molasses in their diet, especially the Clydesdales. I am a little bit nicer to the light horses, but Clydesdales with their thick feathering at their legs, it can cause a huge issue called laminitis or CPL, chronic lymphatic something. I don't remember what it's called, but look, I can treat the problems. I know the problems. I'm just not a vet that knows the technical terms. So I can't go over that fun stuff. Aw, thank you. Yeah, well, I have our Clydesdales, not I have 9 Clydes, a Clyde Cross, and a quarter horse who is not here. She's up at a college on their training crew. So that's my herd. So I don't think English. Do you type English? Can I get this corner done? That one's a little tippier. I think I emptied her water earlier. I did. All right, on to Joey Yo-Yo stall. Well, actually, out here first. Roxanne's area. It's not really a stall, but it does work for keeping her in. Actually, this summer-ish time, April, I won't be able to have everybody in again. The mares will be due to pop. And I'll be looking into having a barn torn down, which only has 3 stalls in it, but that will kick out a few of the horses. Be interesting. Pretty much had this wrapped up before I got started. So what is everybody's Christmas plans? It is much darker out. Sorry if it's not light enough. However, I am very excited. As you guys might have kept up with, I have been able to scan, and at least one of my mares is cycling, which means that her body is tricked just enough that she thinks it might be springtime. If she thinks that it's springtime now, she is what's called like ovulating. She's cycling. She's gonna grow. She's growing follicles that could be fertilized. So I'm very excited about that. That's working. Happens to work really well. That you guys can benefit from the lights being on maybe a little bit. Not in this area, but still. she's always like doesn't seem that dirty, and then you just keep shoveling. Not celebrating too many bad things. Dragon, I'm sorry to hear about that for this year. Personally, that would be my fucking dream. I hate Christmas. I do love winter. Just not a fan of Christmas. I have not been around horses, maybe what some people would consider your whole life. I got horses when I turned 10. But draft horses didn't start until I was 14. I didn't get my own draft horse because I just worked with a lot of others until I was 22-ish. I know I was over 21. Sure, I could grab me a beer, but I don't remember exactly. Interesting trying to hike back out of the snow. Cowboy boots are awful in snow. They really are. Smooth bottom, rubber or leather. It sucks. Not a good choice to slip and slide. And despite being a Vermonter, I really hate skiing. But I don't have my belt on today. I don't know where it is. Good eye. I do love my belt. I used to never wear one. A lot of the comments were like, get a belt. So I got one. Thought it was cute that it has my name on it and stuff. It is custom from Etsy. I don't remember what Etsy store it was. I should have somehow saved that so I could give her credit. Yeah, depending on what is purchased, I think one of my favorite things to do when somebody buys me a custom or buys me something off my Amazon wish list, depending on the item, is to actually make a video with it. I owe Cody like probably 1 million of those because he's definitely the #1 guy for buying them. However, love making a custom video, like my thermal shirts. Obviously, that's all I was in. Kind of depends. Merry Christmas, guys. You have the smartest girl in the world? I don't know about that. I have 9 horses here. And then I have a Clyde Cross in a training facility. And then I have a solid paint, so she just looks like a quarter horse, at a dressage facility. Ironically, she was actually trained Western before she was trained dressage. But, YOLO. I put all of this manure compost, which I laughed the other day. So I was like, well, you get free compost out of it. It's probably the most expensive way to get compost. I pile it all up outside in a giant pile. And then thankfully my neighbor purchases it, a lot of it at least. And people use it to make topsoil compost for different companies and sell it. I've used it to grow that wacky stuff, obviously being up in Vermont. And it works very well for that, but I don't actually like to smoke it. This is a red hat, and I do not have any racking horses. I'm up in New England. Not a very popular thing up here. I'm not one for trail riding or racing. I have Clydesdales. It's the majority of what I have. I'm cleaning up after 9 Clydesdales, and then I have 2 pregnant. And next year I have a Clyde Cross. This poor boy is on what's called stall rest, which is where he can't leave his stall. Like time out for your bedroom. He's getting back from surgery. For those who did not watch the video update, last week I went over what the surgery was for. This week I went over how he's doing. But basically it's a throat surgery. And you know, I'll give you the rundown of the video if you're really curious. Basically their necks grow really long. It makes the ligaments really weak. It makes it so when he goes to breathe, his throat starts closing instead of staying open. And he starts doing this thing called roaring. So he got what's called roaring surgery. And it requires 4 weeks of stall rest. We are 1 week in, and I will probably go over that. I do not have, I do have quarter horses, but that's not what I'm cleaning up after. The surgery was very expensive. It kind of sucked. How much is your fee bill? A lot. And the other question was about my thong. You can watch a video. I have a whole video about that. I've really enjoyed having the YouTube channel started up. I think it's a much faster way that people can keep up with what I'm doing on my other page. It's where I can universally share my TikToks, my short reels, whatever you want to call them. But I can also, you can keep up with the farm the easiest. So if you like to keep up with that, it's a great place. No habla español. Now you're just going to spend it in all sorts of different language. Yeah, how many times does a horse poop in a day? About every 2 hours is what I was told. However, when I went to college, they said every 2 hours, except for if you load them on a trailer, they're most likely going to shit. And if a kid's around, they'll poop. And if a bride is trying to ride, that's basically when you really don't want them to. That's when they also really tend to shit. Which is funny because you basically, once they stop shitting, you've got a real big problem. So, his surgery did cost me a couple $1,000s. And it was my Christmas present, so it is what it is. It's a lot of shit, yes. Yes, sorry, Scott. It was kind of a late one. I am missing my belt today. I don't know. I must have folded it up on my pants and put them back in the drawer or something. I couldn't find it right off. I thought it was in the kitchen. It isn't, and I had to get chores started because it has been really late. Believe it or not, guys, I had to get my Christmas shopping done today. I started and finished today. So, I'm not very good with Christmas. I'm actually quite the Grinch when it comes to Christmas. I don't like capitalism. I don't like plastic materials. That's why you guys often see when I'm in my fur coats. I like vintage. I like quality. And I think America's become just really a fast grab for garbage. Sorry for the little spiel. But if you want to get to know me a little bit, that is what you'll be told. A bit of a Grinch. I love winter. I love, 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 love it. Merry Christmas. I, however, not a huge social person. I don't like the things that you have to do. As you guys can tell, like, it's really screwed my day having to do my chores this late at night because I was so busy with the social obligations, getting all my presents. And look, I am really not that fun at presents. I actually go to Goodwill. Mark from St. Louis, God forbid if we ever cross paths again, he was a subscriber to my page for a long time, explained Goodwill to me. Did not love it, but I do love the fact that you can find anything people thought they absolutely needed there, and I do like secondhand shopping. Again, it's how I end up with all of my fur coats. It is a wood floor underneath all of the bedding. Hello guys. I'm up in Vermont. Right at Joey's very dirty stall. Wasn't actually that bad for the fact that it was in my bed. But I do have to dump it. And then he needs a whole nother load of clean stuff. Secondhand shopping's great. I love that you guys agree with me on that. The horses, all the horses are doing okay. They're a little confused why I'm so late. Alright. Get me some fresh bedding. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. I am extremely into New Year. As much as I'm like not really for Christmas, I'm very into New Year. I love New Year's resolutions, the thought of something fresh. Ironically, not my clothing, but I do like a New Year. These my girls look like they went pretty easy on me. Hello, hello. Merry Christmas Eve. How are you guys doing? Thank you. I agree that most of my horses are pretty gosh darn beautiful. I love sharing them. I do not rodeo. I have Clydesdales. It'd be really hard to barrel race on a fucking draft. Be hard to do cow work on a draft too. What's up, everybody? How many people have Christmas obligations tonight? I'm supposed to make it to my sister's. I hope she doesn't expect me for quite a bit. Because I to do, have my stalls to clean. Might be a late turn in, so that way they get their most amount of outside time. And that makes it so their stalls are the least dirty for tomorrow. Lived in a barn. I've lived in a barn. All decked out with horses. I certainly am hoping tomorrow to get some time. Because of the holiday, I'll have less to do. That I will be able to get some time photographing the horses. There is a good amount of snow. I will say that the 5 inches was enough to at least cover everything. I would be good with even more. I love snow. I love winter. So, love to get back onto the sleigh rides. If possible. I don't know why I put you guys there. It's literally right where the dirt is. 75 and GA. Oh, it's white Christmas here. I love the snow. Did you move where there isn't snow now, or was it the fact that global warming doesn't allow as much? They sing and deck the halls, but it's not like Christmas at all. What's up, my? Let's not like Christmas at all. 11 horses. I do not hang out on TikTok as much as I used to. If you want to keep up with things, I love my weekly updates on the farm that keeps everybody informed on what it's like running a Clydesdale farm. Almost done. Big bark. What do I do with the horses? I mostly drive them. Sleigh rides are really the most popular thing for me to do right now. The horses are currently out on the pasture, so I'm not sure what that question is. When you start at $9 an hour, I was $7.50 an hour. The first job I had cleaning stalls was $7.50. So came a long ways. I think I get paid more than $7.50 an hour just off of YouTube doing this. Happy holidays! You would expect me to talk less? Fuck off. I got ADD. I talk fast enough. Good thing I'm not, and nobody's, I'm a boss. Alicia, I have sold horses. It's not my favorite thing to do. Tire kickers are probably the worst thing on planet Earth. But I do have horses that I guess I have bred and sold some horses. I more prefer using them as a hobby and advertisement for my page. And do that. What's it like to work on a farm? It's a lot of work, and it's every day. That's probably the worst. Shaky after. Oh gosh. Get a doctor. I'm not sure why your hands would shake after cleaning stalls. I've gotten tennis elbow plenty of times. That's where your elbow tendons are just like a little worn out from shifting and shaking. Usually, so in the summer, I like to have the horses out as much as possible. And while they're actually out, and about in the summer, I don't clean the stalls as often. Come winter, I like them to come in, get a break, have somewhere much softer to lay, etc., etc. And, I don't know. And, more of them come in during the winter. So the first few weeks of transitioning from not doing a lot of stalls to doing the full barn, Definitely will hit a little harder than I'd like to admit. Chores they're not hard, and I'm not complaining. I really do enjoy cleaning stalls. I really enjoy cleaning stalls. Talking and explaining all of this to everybody. However, I mean, this is a couple pounds. You're shaking it over and over. Keeps you fit. It's a lot of hard work. I have a lot of friends who say that they would love to help and be as fit as me, etc., but they never show up. I want a barn workout. It's a good workout. I can't believe, oh, this was not Raina was in the stall last night instead of Finley. They swapped. They were like, this is so organized for Finley. That's because she wasn't in here. Every horse kind of actually, bizarrely enough, has their own shitting pattern. I mean, I guess you're going to have that with, like, we all have our own sleeping habits. We all have our own habits on how we keep our bedroom. The stalls are all set up rather darn similar, okay? And despite that, and the fact that all the horses are about the same size, each one of them treats the room that they're in very differently. The boys tend to be a little dirtier. The reason is kind of obvious. Their pecker being in between their legs makes it so they have to pee in the center of the stall. Mares, having the vajayjay out the backside, they can tend to keep their mess all to the back corners. You can still have a mare who kind of twists and turns all night. You can have a gelding that doesn't, and that keeps things much more organized. I would say my boys are pretty organized despite the setup of their anatomy, but I got a couple mares that are just from hell. So, I still have my belly button ring. I don't think I'll ever pull that out. I've had it for over half my life. It'd be weird not to have it. It's not the only piercing I have. The longer you have them, the weirder it would be staring at yourself without them. How much DNA is on the ring? My ring that I got made out of my horse's hair? I guess I don't know how much DNA is in hair. Got one more stall to clean, and then, but actually before I do that one, I'm gonna start breaking into the hay. Joey, who's on stall rest after his surgery, I moved him down to a dirty stall while I cleaned his. Don't ever move him into a clean stall while you're cleaning his, because he will make it dirty very fast. So I have to get him hay. I suggest to everybody that you get hay in the stalls before you move the horse there, because then you're not fighting with the horse. I don't know. I wish I had the temperature. Obviously, it's cold enough that it's you can see my breath pretty well. All right. Done with this one. I do not actually give my horses treats, so Santa will not be bringing them any. I think the best spoiling that you can do to a horse is keeping them so they don't have to wonder what's in their next meal, wonder where they're going to lay their head, and keeping things calm and simple. You screw up their diet too much, you'll know. You'll get a good old vet bill for it. It's 25 degrees out, Vermont, in that town. Hey guys, you a cowgirl? Well, I am a girl who has 9 Clydesdales that I'm taking care of this Christmas Eve. Obviously, I do it more than just today. I just get some hay to this horse. Apple picking this looks like. This is the worst when you have to break into a new bale. I personally hate the one that's on the bottom. There it goes. Voila. Once I get this boy some water for his head, I'll get him moved and hang out in that stall. You guys can watch how I stuff my bales. These are my lovely hay nets. They are really convenient. I did a whole video on why I feed in hay nets. That's the fun part about having a YouTube channel, is I've been able to give some hints and tricks on how I feed the horses. This is one of them. I won't go over all the reasons why, but basically this will keep a constant supply of food in front of the horses. Slows them down on how fast they can eat, but that makes it so there's food all night and they don't waste it. When they're wasting food and they're not eating it, and then they sit there with empty stomachs or half empty stomachs, that really hurts. It's not good. It wastes my money, and it wastes their time of having good food in their tummies. Pretty good. And this is Joey. He's on stall rest. He is due for another antibiotic shot. Let's get some bedding in that stall. Merry Christmas. All I've got is the stall left. This is where Finn was last night, which makes a lot more sense, as you guys will see. It is a freaking disaster. Freaking disaster. Merry Christmas. Sorry guys, I wasn't on this morning. I do a lot more on YouTube now. little bit of a better community. I feel like it's a little more structured. Plus, I can post photos from some of my photo shoots and other longer videos, shorter videos, informational videos, all sorts of fun things. Such a hog. Come on, nativity. I mean, way in the manger. I don't have any mangers because I don't have cows. Fucking hog of a horse. It's a good thing this horse is pretty because she is disastrous. Don't even want to know why Milo just went flying by. Probably to attack Chester. Iser. See if there's any. Oops, sorry. Located in Vermont. I do not pull with my horses. I drive my horses though. It's 25 degrees out or something along there. It's not too bad. It is funny because the fact that like 40 degrees feels really warm right now, but obviously in April, 40 degrees, or in like July, 40 degrees feels like it's freezing. So it's astonishing how fast you can build up immunity to the cold. Okie dokie. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Oh, no. I just put the horses away. Where did that come from? I'm from Vermont. Born and raised. I can't show off the horses right now because, well, one's only inside. Does it ever get too close to the horses? No. Not as long as you're feeding them. So they kind of make their own furnace by having the hay digest in their stomach. That produces god-awful amount of heat. That heat keeps them warm. If you don't feed them, they can't heat themselves. But otherwise than that, it. Been busy all day. Yeah, I got my Christmas shopping started this morning. Voila. Alright, who's ready to stuff some nuts? Well, you're not wrong. I kind of stopped going live on TikTok. I prefer going live on YouTube now, so. Then, did hop on good old TikTok tonight. This is some gorgeous hay, but it is soft and keeps flaking and falling apart. So, it's been fun. I'm gonna get so much of this down my pants. Oh, it's a whole bunch on my chest. I would wait if I got any of that actually in the net. Okay. Whew. Let's get this next one a little closer. Less walking. I think I've been working up more. Hay is coming in stretches. There's one chunk. Let's see how this goes. Oh my God. in Vermont. This hay rack came from a couple different companies. The hay, oh my God. The hay, whatchamacallit, net itself came from Hay Chicks. The thing around it, I think it might have been Chick Salary, but I'm not exactly sure. Hey guys, Bailey Brewer's live right now. My phone just told me. Speaking of, do you guys have your notifications on for when I'm live next? Then you can keep up with all of it. The horses are out in the pasture. This is getting it in there. The time is it? It's 5 o'clock. What's my favorite part about Vermont? I like winter. We're #1 in maple syrup. Real maple syrup. Okay, we just have to toss some here. People learn stuff from watching me. That's awesome. I would never really have anything to do in Alabama. All right. The cowgirl string. Put all the compost or all the hay? Time for a real life nativity scene. I don't think I've got much in common with Mary. Yeah, I love Vermont. We gotta get some more bedding to these top 3 stalls. What's everybody doing? It's 5 o'clock here. What time is it everywhere else? It's been a great live stream. I do have a couple videos of the horses showing. Nope, I'm up in Vermont. 5 o'clock in Vermont. Beer time, quitting time. 6:04. Where the fuck are you? 5 o'clock East Tennessee. All right, next one. I got to add bedding back to the stalls. Which doesn't take very much, and then I'll be done for the night. I'll turn in later, probably after some of the Christmas festives. Kind of Captain Obvious, but the longer you keep a horse in a stall, the dirtier the stall. So if I keep them out, their stalls will be a lot cleaner. And tomorrow, I won't have to deal with as much when I'm supposed to be getting back up to Christmas festivities. I'm going to log off now. I will see you guys tomorrow because, of course, I'm always going to have to do stalls, so I'll be back on. And I will be able to get through them a little bit faster and entertained to see you guys. So thanks so much for following along, and I will see you all tomorrow.